Hello and welcome to Back Rattlers 2013 here on Cox 7. We're here to celebrate, as the title probably gave it away, the second straight Arena Football League crown by your Arizona Rattlers. It's no secret, too, that their fourth title in franchise history did not come easily, but might very well be the sweetest, with it coming in their 8th Arena Bowl appearance. And joining me here on the set, a couple of the guys that were part of our broadcast crew all season long, Dale Hellestrae, Chris Harris, and guys, I think fans still a couple of weeks removed talking about that championship. Not only the championship itself, but the season, everything that went into it to make it a back-to-back.
It's always interesting to see how teams respond to success. This team wins the title last year. How are you going to respond? You can be complacent. Well, they have an owner and a coach who weren't going to let that happen. They had a busy offseason, and they knew they were going to have a target on their chests each and every week, and they responded.
And it's such a difficult task to repeat as Arena Bowl champions. Hadn't been done since 1995, 1996, when the Tampa Bay Storm pulled it off, but the Rattlers got it done. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, it really was. And we saw this team, you know, they were met with challenges each and every week, a variety of things, from injuries, of course, facing the league's very best, coming right out of the chute as we get to some of the regular season highlights. And as we said, started right out of the chute with week 1. Great matchup with Philadelphia, a rematch of last year's Arena Bowl, and the Rattlers did not disappoint in their season and home opener.
Well, they talked during the offseason, you bring in all these wide receivers. You know, why is Coach Guy bringing all these guys in? They had elite receivers last year. Well, you know what? First of all, it was for competition. He wanted these guys to compete every week to see who was playing the best, was going to play on Saturday night. And secondly, in case there are injuries. And guess what? There were a bunch of them. A lot of guys stepped up. A lot of guys filled in. Just a tremendous job from the top all the way to the bottom.
And that gave them a league best 15-3 record. And they set an AFL record with the most double-digit wins in a season with 13. And they also became the first franchise in league history to win 15-plus games in multiple seasons. And along those lines of the healthy competition and the guys that KG brought in, 8 guys were named to the Arena Bowl team.
Yeah, and I think what made it all the more remarkable is we've talked for the last 2 or 3 years, the West is really the benchmark. I mean, it's the gold standard. And of course, you think about they had to meet those clubs not only in the regular season, but they also knew that they would encounter them, that being San Jose and Spokane, in the playoffs. As we roll forward to some of the postseason action, they faced off against Spokane, who had the second best record in the league. Starting off, we should mention, with San Jose, and this is 2 teams, 2 franchises. Let's be honest, not a lot of love lost between these 2 clubs.
It's a great rivalry, and you know what? There's some genuine dislike for each other, and I think that's healthy in football. And you see the emotion boiling over. The whole key is play with emotion, but play smart. They found a way to do that against San Jose in the playoffs.
And just like the playoffs last year, it was a roller coaster ride. The San Jose game, it was tied after 3 quarters, and the Rattlers were able to pull it off when it mattered the most in the 4th. Plays like Tyson Poots, the new guy, come in and making things happen.
And we talk about the need for resiliency all season long, and boy, did they ever need it in this matchup in the second round against Spokane, because Spokane came out and punched them in the mouth early, got up big, and you could just hear them suck the life out of the snake pit, but they responded as they've done all season long, guys.
Again, a team that faced adversity during the season, whether it be a couple losses, whether it be injuries. Whatever happened to this team prepared them for this moment. If you haven't faced adversity during the regular season, all of a sudden you get hit in the mouth in the playoffs, sometimes you don't know how to respond.
Yeah, and shock came out in this game, up 21-7. It was 35-21 Spokane in the second. The Rattlers went on a 37-0 to run to get this done.
All right, well, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to head to Orlando for Arena Bowl 26. You're watching Back to Back Rattlers 2013 here on Cox 7. Well, thanks for tuning in to Back Rattlers 2013. Guys, 3 straight Arena Bowl appearances, but this one wasn't going to be easy. The Rattlers, of course, squaring off against the Philadelphia Soul team they beat in last year's Arena Bowl, as well as twice this season. Not very easy to beat a good team 3, let alone 4 times in a row, Dale.
And the reason that you're playing them 3 times is because they're playoff teams, and that's what makes it so difficult to do, especially when you talk about at the championship level.
And I was down in Orlando for the game, and I can tell you, Philly wanted a piece of the Rattlers. They did not want to lose once again.
Yeah, and of course, this was a Philadelphia team that came very close to knocking off the Rattlers in their last regular season meeting. Let's get to some of the highlights of Arena Bowl XXVI, and there were plenty. This game came in with a lot of hype, a lot of pregame billing, and it certainly lived up to it.
And the guys who have stepped up all year long, again, we've used the word dinged up. A lot of guys played hurt, and they found a way to make plays on this night. Yes, there were some big plays by Philadelphia. You expect that in this game, but when it mattered most, the Rattler guys who'd been there all year long found a way to win this game.
And this is a Rattler team. A lot of the guys, this was their third straight Arena Bowl, and they won it last year, so they've been in this moment before. They knew not to panic if anything went wrong, and they persevered and stepped up when it mattered the most.
When I think you go back to that Spokane game, we talked about, they could have gotten off the rails real easy even though they were playing at home. And I think because of those tests through the course of the regular season and in the postseason, they were prepared to be in that kind of fire down in Orlando.
There's absolutely no way that you can prepare yourself for a championship game with adversity without facing it earlier in the season. And they're able to do that. Different guys play different weeks, have found ways to catch the ball, make interceptions, and do those things it takes to win football games, and they carried it over to the championship game.
And it was a lot of the new guys that stepped up. We just saw the touchdown there by Rod Windsor, another new player, Tyson Poots. Two great additions at the wide receiver spot. Windsor was named the game's MVP. And then defensively, Keith Brown, one of the heroes from last year's Arena Bowl game, with a big stick right there that helped them seal the win, along with this Garrett Lindholm field goal that sealed the deal.
And of course, I think you talk about Keith Brown. I think it's a real testament to the professionalism of these guys, because a lot of them had been in the starting lineup, then they get moved out. They may not play for a week, they're back the next week. Brown, a classic example of a guy who could have hung his head, but he knew he had to be ready, and when that moment came, they were always there to step up.
We've been talking about skill guys basically this whole show, and I understand that's what sells papers, but that offensive line all year long, Michael Huey, Billy Eisenhart, Cornelius Dixon. What a tremendous job they did playing week in and week out. We're talking about Nick's hand, we're talking about Maurice's hamstring. I promise you, those offensive line were just as banged up, but they fought through it.
Yeah, it was a true team effort, no doubt about it.
And I would counter that even with that defensive front. There's a reason that secondary got as many interceptions as they did, because of the pressure up front. Well, Chris and photographer Weston Watson were in Orlando and spoke to a happy group of Rattlers right after the big win against the Soul.
It was all a team victory, from the coaching staff to, the kicker. We pulled together, we battled. There was some ups and downs in this game, and we just found a way to get a win. And it feels great, man. It really does.
We worked hard all year for it. We had a lot of tough, close games this season. And, even today we had to come back and get the victory. But, it's very, very well deserved, and we did it for Arizona, baby.
This is a long season. We play on this hard turf, and there's going to be injuries. And today, K. Reed came in and scored a touchdown. We believe all 5, 6 of our receivers can be starters everywhere in this league, and they just came to play.
Have some fun, would you?
I will. Don't worry about it. I'll have enough fun for you.
Well, stick around. As we mentioned, our Cox 7 crew was in Orlando, and what a few days it was. When we get back, Chris Harris has some of the sights and sounds surrounding Arena Bowl XXVI when back-to-back Rattlers 2013 returns.
What you got? Is that 2?
Welcome back. A huge win for Arizona puts them in the record books. They are the first arena team to repeat as champions since 1996 when the Tampa Bay Storm did it, and their 8 appearances in the Arena Bowl put them first in total overall appearances. Chris Harris and, of course, the Cox 7 sports team were in Orlando all week covering the Rattlers' bid for back-to-back crowns. Chris, how was it down in O-Town?
What was not to like? They went back-to-back, Arena Bowl champions once again. I mean, a good time was absolutely had by all, no doubt about it. Well, after having their first flight canceled, the Rattlers boarded a red-eye flight out of Phoenix and finally made their way to Orlando roughly 48 hours before kickoff for Arena Bowl 26.
Trying to win the game. Yeah, we here, baby. Ain't no way in this week.
Can I please have one with everything but tomatoes?
Fresh off the plane, trying to refuel, get ready for practice. You know, that's how champions do it.
After breakfast, the players arrive at the Citrus Bowl for their last practice before the Arena Bowl.
Today is more of a mental day. You know, earlier in the week we got the physical stuff out of the way, and we're just trying to get sharp and you know, get everything keyed in on the field, everything that we want to do.
Later in the afternoon, both teams gather for Media Day. The press conference opens with the announcement of the league's newest franchise, the LA Kiss, owned by legendary rock and roll band Kiss.
I want you to know that it's a privilege and an honor to be part of the AFL, and while we have an inferred fiduciary duty and other business terms to promote this, we want to promote AFL.
The attention then turns to the two teams playing for the title, a rematch of last year's Arena Bowl, the first time that's happened in league history.
The best two teams in the league are here. I know we can't wait to get out there and compete, but not only has the players and coaches got it done, but there's been other people behind the scenes that also got it done as well, okay? So looking forward to a great Arena Bowl, glad to be back, and let's go out and have some fun.
A couple hours later, everybody is having a good time, looking sharp as the team hits the red carpet at the AFL Gala. Antron Dillon is voted best dressed by the Dream Team dancers. Describe the look for me.
Oh, the look I was going for, you know, is formal, you know, with a little twist of my own. You know, I love purple, so I had to get the purple bow tie. Mine is real. Nick's is a clip-on, just so you know. Just so you know, I had to let them know.
Nick was a big winner, though, at the league's awards ceremony.
Nick Davila, the Al Lucas Pulse Hero Award winner. Congratulations, Nick.
I just want to say thank you for this award, Arena Football League. That's something that you know, we preach at Arizona Rattlers, always giving back to the community.
Arizona wins 3 more awards, including President Joe Wyndham, who was named the AFL's Executive of the Year.
The people that make me look good are all the people that work for me. It's not me, it's them. They do all the work.
After morning meetings on Friday, some of the players go to lunch at Harry Buffalo in downtown Orlando.
Oh yeah, time to eat, baby, time to eat. Hey, Mama! This is awesome. Huh? Yeah, it's great. Good place to be. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm the taste tester guy. If it ain't good, I'll let that know.
Later that night, as part of the Arena Bowl festivities, the league's newest owners perform at the Amway Center.
Wow! That man say good, and you want some fun. Think you're gonna find it.
Once Kiss clears the stage, that sets the stage for Arena Bowl 26. Rattlers fans gather at the team hotel Saturday morning to wish the team well. Outside the Amway Center, hours before kickoff, is the AFL fan experience.
Let's go, Rattlers!
Now we're feeling at home here, where we should be, with all of the Rattler fans. I'm joined by one of the biggest fans of the team, Peanut. Peanut, talk about the atmosphere here.
It's a great atmosphere. We came to go back to back, baby, back to back.
Once inside, it's all business. For the Rattlers, it's a chance to repeat as Arena Bowl champions.
We here for a reason, fellas.
Today we're going to do this as a team. We're going to do this as a team and put our mark in this league, okay, in history. Back to back, okay? We're getting it done today. Mental toughness, physical toughness, okay? We're going to break them. We're going to break them for 60 minutes now, okay?
Showtime!
After winning the Arena Bowl for a second straight year, it's time to celebrate.
Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Hey, first of all, I want to tell you, man, I am so proud of you guys, man. I love each and every one of you. You laid it on the line today, okay? Guys went down. We just kept finding a way. We just kept plugging. It's hard enough to do it once, but to do it twice, okay? Back to back. We're going to celebrate today, and then we're going to get ready to three-peat, baby!
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We got it done back to back, man. KD said we're going to enjoy tonight, and we're going to three-peat. We're going to get back after it.
The Rattlers then return to Harry Buffalo and share this special moment with their loyal fans.
You guys were as busy as the players. A couple of highlights stand out from the week.
I would say the first one was seeing all the guys dressed up for the gala. That was pretty cool. Then absolutely the one that took the cake was the celebration in the locker room after the game, because that is what it's all about. Those guys worked so hard to get that championship, and see how happy they were. It was really fun to be in there.
Well, thank you, Chris. Thanks to all our Cox 7 crew. Great work. We're coming back to talk with the two architects of the back-to-back title teams, head coach and general manager Kevin Guy and principal owner Ron Shurts. It's all coming your way next here on Rattlers Back-to-Back 2013. Well, welcome back. 2 wins in a row. Might have been 3 if Aaron Garcia doesn't break our hearts back in 2011. Not that easy. Well, head coach and general manager Kevin Guy and principal owner Ron Shurts, the men who put these squads together, are with us right now. And guys, what an unbelievable season. We've had a chance to sit here and soak it up and recap it. And I'm sure the excitement still hasn't left you, even though it's been a couple weeks now.
Well, it hasn't. I mean, I think I've been out of town actually, so I haven't had a chance to enjoy the celebration as much. But I'll tell you what, it'll take a little while for this to set in, because it's a big accomplishment. 3 in a row, obviously back-to-back championships, and Kevin and his staff has worked their tail off to get together a good crew. And the scary part is most of them are coming back.
So Kevin, talk to our audience about, obviously you barely missed it a couple years ago. You win it last year. Compare last year to this year, the feeling that you have right now.
Well, I just think that, it's hard to win one, but to win 2, win back-to-back, a lot of things have to fall in place for you, and you got to have a little luck on your side. And I felt like that, the players, got it done on the field. Their dedication during the off season and the hard work they put in, it carried over into the season. And we obviously had some things fall our way, but we got a good group of core guys, strong leadership in that locker room, and the players deserve all the credit.
We always talk with this organization that starts at the top, and that's with you. Talk a little bit about your and Kevin's working relationship, how you go through the off season, and just how proud you are of what you've put together.
Well, I mean, Kevin drives the bus. I think for Kevin's benefit, I think probably for the first time in his career, he's had somebody he can have some pretty high-level conversations with. And I understand the game enough, understand personnel enough, but it's his show. But we've been able to recruit a couple guys together.
Absolutely.
we went and got a couple guys together on a couple recruiting trips. So that's been a little bit unusual. And I think the other thing is too, I've got players have a lot of respect for me, and it's not an owner-player relationship. It's really me being part of the guys, with blur in the sand there. But it's part of the Rattler family being put together.
And Kevin, you really set the tone. You and the staff, back in training camp. You've been a big believer that, competition each week in practice is what breeds the ultimate success. And boy, did that ever come to fruition because of the injuries throughout the course of the season.
Well, I think that the big thing we were concerned about was, complacency. And when you go back and look, we really attacked recruiting aggressively in the off season. Brought in some players that were going to challenge some of the guys that's been with us in their roles. We got into some injuries last year, didn't really have some answers when they got hurt. This year we had answers, and you could really see that in the Arena Bowl. When Marquise Floyd went down, Rod Windsor went down, we had guys immediately step up and was in a position to go out and make plays for us that made a big. I mean, Marquise Brown had a big hit right there at the end that won the game for us on 4th down.
Right. Well, I tell you what, that was one of the things that we talked about early on, is just how each and every week it seemed like somebody else stepped up. And these were guys that went into the game maybe not knowing how many reps they might get.
Yeah, I mean, it's week to week, and it's about matchups, and that's the way we look at it as a coaching staff. The matchup against Spokane may not be the same matchups when you play, Philadelphia or San Jose. So, that's going to change from week to week. My assistant coaches did a great job of assisting in that, and we came up with some good game plans, and the players went out and executed them, and that's the name of the game.
Talked to Ron and asked him about, the top down to the bottom. You've been around the league a long time. You know there's some ownership groups out there that maybe aren't what you'd like to see or what you'd like to work for. Talk about what it's like working for a guy like Ron Shurts.
Well, Ron's a winner, number one, and he's a game changer, and when he came on board here, he set expectations for this organization, and, it was a lot of the same mindset that I've always had. I just wasn't ever fortunate enough to work for a guy like this. So when we got in that situation, we were talking about the other day, I just think the timing of it, the mesh of it, it all came together at the right time.
Well, thanks, guys, and again, congratulations on an incredible effort. Coming up, we'll talk to a couple of the guys who helped get the job done this season. Rattlers in the house next on Back to Back Rattlers 2013.
I'm here with the only 2 quarterbacks to ever start 3 straight Arena Bowls, current Rattlers quarterback Nick Davila and former great and AFL Hall of Famer Cedric Bonner. When you hear that, what's that mean to you?
It means everything and nothing, because he won one of his. I didn't win any of mine. So I went out with a L in my last Arena Bowl. So, yeah, it's a great accomplishment, but the goal is, as he stated earlier, is to win those games. We weren't able to, so now I can live through some of these guys that are getting it, win it right now.
Now, Nick, for you, the opportunity to go back-to-back championships, what does that mean?
It's a huge opportunity. A lot of teams, just try to get there the first time, and we have a great opportunity to do it 2 times in a row. So there's something about left-handed quarterbacks at Arizona, right?
What is it with the lefties?
We're the only ones in our right mind. That's what we tell everybody.
Well, certainly a couple of guys that need no introduction, just a few touchdowns and 4 championships between those 2 quarterbacks, Nick Davila and Cedric Bonner. The way Nick is going, of course, certainly on his way to being one of the best in AFL history, and we are fortunate to have Nick and another guy that's had a lot to do with this team's success, Virgil Gray, the ball-hawking defender out of the secondary. And guys, first off, thank you for being here. Congratulations. Virgil, I want to start with you because we've talked so much about the offense the last couple of years, but the job the defense did this year was absolutely spectacular. The plays that you guys made in that secondary, and I know a lot of it had to do with the pressure that you were getting up front, but just talk about the season as a whole and how you capped it off in that title game.
Well, it starts all up top. Coach Omar, he does a great job game planning. The guys we got up front, that goes to Coach Guy. He did a great job of recruiting. They get pressure for us all the time, make our job a lot easy. Coach Omar put us in the right position. We just have to go out there and make plays.
Well, the one thing that comes across to me is everybody on this team, it's a humbleness about you guys. So, Nick, and Virgil says this is your show, so we're going to ask you a question. He's just here to support you, but have a little bit of fun with you. But just talk about the first Arena Bowl championship to this season. Just compare and contrast, if you will.
Well, I think it was 2 different seasons. Last year we came off a very disappointing loss in 2011, so I know I was hungry, I know Virgil was very hungry to get back to the Arena Bowl and get the W, and we were fortunate enough to do that. And so this year, you know, Coach is always talking about, you know, not getting complacent and trying to just keep getting better every day, and that's the way we're going to approach things, and that's what we did this year. It was a difficult season, but we came out on top.
Talk a little bit about the wide receiver situation. You know, going into the season, everybody was going, why has Coach Guy got all of these receivers coming into camp? And as a quarterback, you're going, okay, you got 4, 5, 6, really number 1 and 2 receivers. How did you deal with that?
Well, you know, I just try to take what the defense gives me. All 6 receivers are outstanding receivers. They did an excellent job all year, you know, and they made my job really easy.
Yeah, not as easy as it sounds, I assure you. Virgil, let's talk about the fan support. You know, you guys really, with the ownership, Ron Shurts and the coaching staff, have created quite a scene down there at the Snake Pit. What has it meant for you, of course, going a long way and having home field advantage, but what has it meant for you and this team to have that kind of support built up now over the last couple of seasons?
Anytime you have a great fan support like we have, you play at home, go out to playoff, have home field advantage. It's just big for us, and having home field advantage, that's just great for us. Our home record, we only lost 1 game, so that was just a big support for us.
So I'm going to ask you, Nick, talk a little bit about, you know, the media likes to talk about, wow, how hard it is to beat a team 3 times, but just talk about your playoff gauntlet there. I mean, you start off with San Jose, which obviously brings a lot of emotion, a lot of ties intertwined between the franchises. Then you have to go through Spokane, and then finally Philadelphia. Just talk about your little playoff run.
Well, you know, that's when you got to be playing your best football, and that's to be the recipe to be a champion. So, you know, San Jose as an outstanding football team, class organization. They played physical. You know, we were banged up a little bit coming out of that game, and then we went to the next week in Spokane, and they just had athletes all over the place. You know, they had a great offense, a good quarterback who's running around MVP of the league. And, you know, we just found a way to just keep fighting and fighting and fighting. Just like last year, we went through the whole, played San Jose, played Utah. So the West Division is one of the toughest divisions in arena football. And, you know, we're just fortunate enough to get out of that and then get to the Arena Bowl and play Philadelphia, who also was another outstanding team to play against. And I'm just happy that we were able to get the W again.
Well, guys, thanks for coming in again, and congratulations on another remarkable season, and looking forward to being back here again next year. The Arizona Rattlers, the winningest professional sports franchise in Arizona history. Well done, guys. Thank you to all the viewers, to the great Rattler fans, the Rattler organization, and of course to all our crew and staff here at Cox Communications who helped to bring you this season. I'm Kevin Ray, and we'll see you next year when the Rattlers go for the three-peat and a chance to add to their incredible, rich history.